Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's time for some Premier League predictions again, and I have to give a disclaimer. I do have to give a disclaimer to start the video off. Okay, I'm pre-recording this before I go on holiday. At the time of releasing it, I'm currently on holiday, and I go on holiday mid-weekend of the weekend you've just watched the Premier League action. So I've had to kind of predict what I think is going to go on that weekend. So we're going to talk about it. You're going to know what's going to happen, but you're going to know what the point difference and change is going to be compared to what I'm actually saying. I think Everton are going to beat West Ham. I think Ipswich and Forest are going to draw. I think they've both got really good defensive, really good goalkeepers right now, saving them a lot. So I think, yeah, 1-1 draw there. City and Brighton. I think City are going to win that game 3-1. Southampton beat Wolves. Wolves without Cunha just looking poor right now, and just dropping them further down in that zone. Bournemouth beating Brentford. I think that's fair the way Bournemouth are playing. I think they were unlucky to lose to Spurs last week. So yeah, Arsenal beating Chelsea 3-1. Fulham beating Tottenham 2-1 as well. But that could easily go anyway. That's the most game I'm like, what's going on there? United to beat Leicester, hopefully. And a Newcastle draw with Crystal Palace. But you've not seen that game either yet. That game's in a month's time, so I'm safe on that one and doing that as a prediction. So let's get straight into it. Let's get straight into my predictions for the rest of the 9 game weeks. You can figure out the difference between the points. I'm doing this series now to come out whilst I'm on holiday. So I'm going to have to disclaimer in every single video. But that's fine. Let's go into that first game with Arsenal beating Fulham 2-0. Fulham just every now and then they struggle to create chances, and I feel like it's going to be a game where they struggle to create the chances. Wolves and West Ham. I'm going to go 1-1 in that game. West Ham still yet to massively impress me. Forest to beat United. I don't think we've got a chance in hell against this Forest team right now. Bournemouth beating Ipswich. It's sad to see Ipswich is just not living up to what they can be. And then Brighton to beat Villa on the return back there. City and Leicester is just going to be a massive annihilation of Leicester City. Newcastle and Brentford, we're going to go Brentford away from home is never really that great, so we're going to go 3-1 Newcastle. Southampton versus Crystal Palace, we're going to go the opposite side, we're going to go 3-1 to Crystal Palace. Liverpool versus Everton, I'd love to see Everton get another result out of it, but I cannot see Everton get a result against Liverpool at Anfield. And then Chelsea versus Spurs. Honestly, the way Chelsea play is just to get points out of Spurs. I'm going to go 3-2. I've been going 5-2 a lot on that one on predictions, but we've dropped it. We'll calculate game week 33 is when we'll calculate it. And 0-0 between Everton and Arsenal. Arsenal just falling off the pace completely. Brighton to beat Palace to beat Brighton in the M23 derby. And then Ipswich to get a result of the Wolves, man. It's a big game to get a result in that. It's a huge game to get a result in that. West Ham to get a result against Bournemouth, and then Aston Villa to draw with Forest to just split the points. There you go, either side. Brentford to draw with Chelsea as well, and then Fulham to get beat by Liverpool. Just one of the games that's going to happen for them. Spurs beating Southampton very comfortably there, and then United to also beat City, because it's what we do, is to show up in these big games. That's the games we need to show up in, and that's the games that I like us showing up in. So yeah, and then Leicester getting beat by Newcastle, yeah, and then we'll see we go. Palace getting beat by City 3-1. Brighton playing against Leicester. I'm going to 2-0 there for Brighton. Chelsea playing Ipswich there. I'm going 1-1 between them two again. Just Chelsea really lacking a goal for it right now, and that's what we're going with. Forest beating Everton. Southampton getting beat by Villa. Wolves and Spurs drawing. Arsenal then beating Brentford. They want to put them Brentford Wolves behind them. Liverpool yet beating West Ham very nicely there, and then Newcastle beating United. I'm just not confident with us. And then Brighton beating Bournemouth. I think that's fair. I mean, that is very fair. Onto the game. I'm going to calculate the table now after this game week. I'm going to see where we're looking at. I'm going to go 3-2 for Brentford there against Brighton. Crystal Palace to draw with Bournemouth. Everton to draw with City, and I'm a 0-0 draw out of them. Fulham and Chelsea. It's just going to be a weekend of draws. We're going to go 1-1 on that one. Penalties. It's like the goals will be penalties. I'm not saying it's good at goals penalties. United to beat Wolves though, putting Wolves deeper in that zone when they don't want to be. West Ham beating Southampton, no slip up there. Villa beating Newcastle, trying to push their way back into them contention spots. Ipswich getting beat by Arsenal. I think that's going to happen. Leicester getting annihilated by Liverpool, and then Spurs against Forest. I'm going to go 2-2 in that one. We're going to calculate the table with 5 games to go after this one. Liverpool 14 points clear with 5 games to go. The next game they play could see them win the league. By an absolute landslide, losing in one game all season. Arsenal in second on 68 points, and a nice 8-point gap between them and Forest. Forest on 60 points. City and Chelsea also getting in them Champions League places, but Newcastle not far behind, Bournemouth not far behind, Brighton not far behind, Villa not far behind, even you could argue Palace not far behind. 8 points probably a bit too far to catch. United maybe pushing their way up to get into that top half of the table, potentially only 4 points off a top half finish. Whoa, come on, would love that. Wolves in a really dangerous position here against Ipswich as well. Ipswich are only 3 points behind Wolves now. It's getting close. That 13-point gap there between Everton and Wolves is going to see Everton pretty safe soon as well. We'll calculate getting game at 35 and see how it's going, because Chelsea beating Everton there is going to not secure Everton as they'd like to be. Brighton then beating West Ham. Big game for that them there. Newcastle beating Ipswich. Forest beating Brentford. Southampton drawing with Fulham. Wolves then to beat Leicester to try and survive their places there. Arsenal drawing with Palace, just making most of the pups that they don't need to make. Bournemouth beating United. And then a resting Liverpool team just drawing with Spurs there. Spurs managing to get a result out of them. And then Villa and City winning that game against Villa. Arsenal and Bournemouth now. Arsenal too, once again drop points to Bournemouth. Just not good. Just dropping too many points. That's what they're doing. That's what they like to do. Another 2-2 draw with there between Villa and Fulham. Brentford to draw with United. Now United to beat them. Brighton beating Newcastle. Chelsea drawing with Liverpool. Liverpool dropping the points. I mean, they've won the league now. That 1 point there sees them win the league, but it is what it is. Crystal Palace and Forest. Crystal Palace to beat Forest, just a boom, 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 boom. Ipswich and Everton to draw. Leicester to beat Southampton, and City to annihilate this Wolves team, this really poor Wolves team. And then a 2-1 win there for Spurs against West Ham, throwing West Ham in the deeper dips. City now getting that third place where you'd expect City to be with how the season's gone. 10 losses though is insane for City's sake, but only 7 points behind Arsenal is just really poor from Arsenal. Liverpool not stopping, 14 points ahead, 3 games to go. They've won the league. It hurts, man, it hurts. United now only once again 5 points away off that top half finish. Not going to happen in the last 3 games. Ipswich have 5 points to gain on Wolves. That's probably not going to happen either, but we'll see what's going to happen in these last few games here, because Bournemouth beating Villa, Fulham then beating Everton, Ipswich beating Brentford. It's going to be a shock one there. Liverpool just wiping the floor. Arsenal have to give them a guard of honour, and they're going to wipe the floor with them. United beating West Ham, showing a bit of form towards the end of the season, catching there. Newcastle beating Chelsea, Forest beating Leicester. Southampton, he get beat by City. I don't know why I was thinking about that one. Spurs beating Palace, and then Wolves to get beat by Brighton. I think that's fair. Arsenal against Newcastle. We'll see a 2-0 win there for Arsenal to try and get their points back on the right track. Villa beating Spurs. Brentford drawing with Fulham. Brighton, chasing. Liverpool have it by this point. And then Brighton winning that game. United drawing with Chelsea. Crystal Palace beating Wolves. Everton beating Southampton. And then Ipswich, big win there. Big win away from home against Leicester. Vital win there against Leicester, should I say. You know what, we'll make it 3-1. And then City beating Bournemouth to try and secure their places. And then West Ham and Forest drawing 1-1. See, Brighton enter a Champions League place. Surprisingly pushing towards Champions League place. That's why they got a push on. They got that push going on. United now still 4 points away from that top half finish. It's not going to happen, but we're going to secure mid-table. It is what it is. Last day of the season, Wolves need to win. Ipswich need to win. It's a lot to fight for on the last day. There's a big gap there, 13-point gap between that bottom 3. Bottom 4, sorry. Bournemouth win their game against Leicester, securing their place there. But Bournemouth needed a win to get in that Champions League place, and they've got into that Champions League place there with that win. It's whether Brighton can win their game. Fulham getting beat by City. Ipswich winning their game on the last day secures their place in the Premier League for next season. A Christian Bull type game. It's an exciting game there between Liverpool and Palace. United on the last day. Villa can't really do much, so Villa just chilling out on the last day. Maybe they got a Champions League final to rest for. And then Newcastle beating Everton to try and push their place in the Champions League. Forest beating Chelsea to push Chelsea away from any sort of European spots for the second. Southampton and Arsenal in the final, they're drawing 0-0. Southampton's final farewell to the Premier League there. And then Spurs beating Brighton on last day, trying to survive some places there. And then Wolves winning their game against Brentford, but it's too little, too late. The Champions League places go to Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Forest and Bournemouth. Newcastle missing out on just purely goal difference, conceding too many goals throughout the year, and that's why they signed Trafford for next year. You know, you've got Europa League alongside Brighton, Newcastle and Brighton going to Europa League, and then Chelsea going back into the Conference League again, back-to-back seasons there. Despite having a really good start to the season, absolutely falling off. Villa miss out, Palace miss out, United miss out, but you know, could still win the Europa League. Wait and see. Villa could still win the Champions League. We'll wait and see. A Fulham on 52 points and a relegated 3 are Wolves, a really poor Leicester team, and Southampton somehow managing not to be the worst team ever in Premier League history, but they go down as one of the poorest teams in Premier League history. Leicester there as well, and Wolves, yeah, honestly man, it's just surviving. I think they made the right transfers and they're getting the right points in the right places, and they were looking good in games. So yeah, that's what we're going to go with. That is going to be the table predictions. I do thank you for watching, guys. If you like the video, please leave a like. We'll see more, subscribe, because there's more on the channel every single day. Thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully I do see you on the next one. Cheers.